Three, two, one. It's going live.
All right.
And we're
Yeah,
live.
good morning.
All right. Yeah, good morning, everybody. We got a fresh slice of delicious divination. We got some special guests today. Um, Obviously,
Very
very,
special.
very special. Of course, we've got Barry Sinewaves, Todd on the mic. And if you're in our chat and you want to join in, feel free to join in. We've got 13th Monkey and
Mike,
Disintegral.
Lee.
You guys why do you want to introduce yourselves a little bit?
Do you want to go ahead, Michael?
Oh, go ahead, Lee.
Okay. Yep. Hi, I'm Lee. Username Integral.
I like Lee a lot.
Where are you at, Lee? Where are you at, Lee?
In London, yeah. UK.
Lee's got a podcast too. I think you got the Cloud podcast, right?
Yeah. It's just a bit of personal observation and meditation, and occasionally I'll ramble on it. But it's not really a podcast as such or anything. It's just
Neither is this.
my little window
Divination.
on the world,
Yeah, it's beautiful art, Lee. I mean, the stuff that you do. It's amazing, man. You've shown me some things that are mind-blowing. With I'm trying to think the Schumann resonance work that you do. We'll have to definitely touch on that. I mean, that's
yeah.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Mike, tell us what we got, what we can know about Mike. Where are you at, Mike? What are your interests? What do you like to work on? What do you like to research? Where are you at?
That's mostly Star Forts, actually.
Heck yeah, man.
I'm in the Netherlands.
Okay. So we got a nice 2 Europeans and 2 Americans. This is very balanced. This is good.
The East and the West.
You guys are peeing and we're just shit, probably. I don't know. Over here, just big egos or something. Think they're the shit, but they're not.
You wouldn't believe how many butts I end up drawing on our show.
Now that realization alone says something, right? It's funny. I had a similar experience earlier today.
Okay,
who realized he was just, as in his own words, a big dumb American.
Yeah. It's you really got to get through some pretty thick darkness here, man. I mean, it's a material world, just like Madonna says. I'm not gonna sing it for you this morning. I might a little later, but it's thick, man. I mean, we all got a material world, though. You do. I mean, Netherlands is probably just as bad. They've just got a different flavor on it. London, man, London's whoo. Lee, you can probably you got some serious shit there.
That's the center of finance of the world.
Yeah, well, they're trying to make that 0 degrees Aries, are they not? I mean, that's pretty much the Greenwich timeline. They're trying to control the entire system from pretty much right where you're at, Lee. And do you think this is this is a great question for this group. Do you think that's an illusion or do you think really that ties up to 0 degrees Aries in this system? Is that where it would almost make sense with the big ass Atlantic right there under it, and it's kind of like that crown chakra up top right there. I mean, is that 0 degree Aries, do we think? I mean, London star forts, I mean, are they some of the, I don't know. I mean, do we see the fire god there?
I'm not familiar with the placements of the geography in relation to the astrology so much, but I can certainly feel that 0 degrees energy at the moment. I know that the sun's only just gone into Aries, actually, and Sidereal. I mean, if you look in the sky as well, stellarium, it's clearly
11 degrees. We're at 11 degrees Aries today, Lee. That's awesome. Yeah. Good call.
Oh, that's quick.
It is quick.
Yeah, I mean, I've been noticing the severe disparity between tropical and actually what it's actually saying in the sky. And recently, it was just like really catching my attention. It's like I was noticing all the mainstream astrologers saying we're going into Taurus now, and it's like, hang on a minute, the sun's hasn't even left Pisces yet. Like,
I know it.
What's going on? So yeah.
It's crazy. Why do you think they do that? Did they do that to keep us like? I mean, because you want to know, if you ask me a question, Barry, where's the sun? I mean, if you take out your instruments, if you use the sense data that you have around you and you look up and you see that the sun is at this such and such degree, why are they telling us it's 27 degrees into the future? And I mean, like you said, they're saying we're going into Taurus. We haven't even let Pisces. And what's funny is Pisces, Venus is exalting right there at the end of Pisces, and fitting enough, in tropical astrology, you've got Venus ruling Taurus. So you've got the tropical and you've got astrology lining up somehow between the tropical and the sidereal, and it's kind of neat. But
that's the thing I've noticed when I've compared the two. It's like they may be slightly different, but the effect of the different aspects seem to work out in the same way. But the problem is there's very different archetypes involved, and obviously it's like which ones are you working with, or which ones are with you, you know.
Right.
I
like to use that sun, though. I mean, that when you look at any question of tropical astrology, when you put the sun down as the center, I mean, it's really what is seen. It's what something is. So you've got a fork, right? That's what it is. And the fork can be used for many things. I mean, you can stab someone in the back with a fork, you can shovel food in your mouth, you can flick a pea across the room. That is the sidereal aspect. Now the what turns into the who here. And the who is defined by all of the choices that you make. And if you don't make a choice, that's still a choice to not make a choice. So I want to know, you always got to work with the center that you have, which is first of all going to be your spirit being right there, like spirit soul marriage. And then it's going to be the system you're in or on. And I don't understand why it's so confusing for people to look at sidereal astrology, to put the earth or the heart as the center. You know what it probably is? It's probably a battle for the mind heart, to who's going to dictate the script, right? And so, of course, everything's supposed to stem from the heart. You're supposed to act compassionately. You're supposed to think compassionately, not lustful. And then you're also supposed to feel like your feeling consciousness, your original air, that's all supposed to come from the heart as well, the ether part. And you've got everything is supposed, all movement comes from the heart, and then that feeds the brain. And it's not the other way around, because if it's the other way around, you get into the desire system shit where you're like, I want food, or sex, or the mind's telling the gut what to do, instead of the gut, solar plexus, intuitive body speaking to the mind and telling it what the sine waves are around it. I'm not gonna go super crazy right now, but sorry, Lee. Lee, tell us, did you go, there's stuff not on the news, I guess, that I've been seeing. There's a lot of people moving over in London right now. Are people getting together? Is there some kind of underground movement going on?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday there was a huge protest, probably the biggest one they've had so far.
On Saturn's Day. That's pretty...
Yeah, it was pretty big. It's been building up for the past year or so, actually. It started, the numbers have just steadily increased. And I think yesterday was probably the biggest one. It was probably at least 100,000, maybe more.
That's
yeah. I mean, some people are even suggesting it was up to 1 million.
Wow.
That would not
and obviously the main. Pardon?
That would not surprise me, looking at just that short stream that you made.
It was huge. It was packed. Yeah.
It's super inspirational, man. Like, really, he really pumped me up this week.
Yeah.
It's similar in Amsterdam. Almost every week, but the media just doesn't report on it.
Right. Do you guys think this could be a big part of the whole corona thing, keeping people separated at home? Because if we come together right now and we join in large masses, we can literally do some serious things, good or bad.
Yeah, exactly, good or bad.
Absolutely.
It just keeps on saying like media is the virus.
Yeah. It really is, man. Because
saying,
they're not
the virus.
Right? You can see they're not even reporting on any of this. I mean, they've got all these other dumb division news stories in there to divide us off into the left and the right, and they do not want anybody sitting in the middle. It doesn't. Yeah, they're going to celebrate you if you're on the left or the right, and then because you've got 2 against 1, you've got the left and the right against the middle, and you don't want to be on that left and right shit because the left's going to become the right, the right's going to become the left. The petrification process is going to happen there. It's all going to turn to stone and matter. It's all going to fall, and the Christ doll in the middle is going to be the only one with balls still. I mean, that's it.
Hey,
you see the same in politics, right? All the left parties swing right, and all the right parties swing left.
Right,
they
switched.
You don't have that much. Like you don't have that much going on in the States where you have like a 2/3 party system, but in the Netherlands, there's I don't know 50 political parties. I'm not joking.
Yeah, you guys have the pirate party too, which is cool. Hey, real quick.
You guys have a pirate party?
Yeah, dude, you can join that. Let me say this real quick. There's a legal. So I was researching a lot of different things recently. It's legal in America. There was a ruling that under the First Amendment they can legally lie to you. So if you aren't aware of this, Fox News literally got some sort of
freedom of speech.
Yep,
like they can say anything they want.
They're allowed to distort the news, and they're allowed to say whatever. And
that's bullshit. Legal. Then you know it's coming.
Smith Munder's them. Yeah.
Oh my god. Brett, what's up? You Brett?
Hey Brett.
Hey, good morning. We got Brett joining us. Brett, where are you out of? Tell the world where you're at.
How world? I'm in California.
We have 100 people watching, so make it good.
The old, not the new California yet.
Yeah. Who forms you? Cali forms you. That's right. San Diego, baby.
California.
Yeah, man.
Santiago. It's the Star Fort of St. James.
Ooh. Well, welcome in. Absolutely. Let me see here. What were we talking about? Sorry to interrupt it all.
Nothing important. Just politics.
I forgot this.
Just politics.
Yeah, I mean
that's me mentioning like you can see like you need to be the center and not the left or the right. It's just affirming what you said earlier. And you see the same happening in politics, like the left party swing right and the right party swing left.
Those joining together movements, those must be large actions of a center. I mean, we got to start getting people together in masses. I mean, and how good does it feel to just go to just think of going, I mean, even something like a concert, like they took everything. I mean, we call it the bread and circus a little bit, but at the same time, all of those actions of people coming together were huge. I mean, I look at the mound systems as all the people would come together and they would focus their energy on those giant buried seeds. Could you imagine 100,000 people packed on like the Ohio River Valley on some like all staring at some mound?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, that's some serious shit right there.
You could apply the same to the Star Forts.
Exactly.
I've been saying, like, one of my theories is that people didn't really live in them. They gathered in them for specific purposes.
Yeah, to teleport to the other craters.
So there's really no need to live in a city if you look at it from that perspective. What can you grow in a city?
Paranoia.
You want to grow your stuff on the land. Rats. So where do you live? On the land. Where do you trade your stuff? In the city. Where do you get healed? In the city. That's my thought with the Star Forts. The mount system is just a precursor of the Star Forts in my train of thought. It wouldn't actually surprise me if they built Star Forts on mounts.
Now, do you think the way, you know how they've got the crop circles, right? How these things, I mean, are we all we're probably all in the same camp that these are manifestations from, the etheric, and these are just nodes almost, and they're physically able to impress loose things like grasses blowing in the wind. There's a form, there's like some kind of like access of ether going through that spot, and when you see that imprint, there's literally something there's something there pressing that down.
Right.
And do you think Star Forts could have been a similar kind of almost manifestation in something even more like a more dense matter node? So pretty much the reason that we see people building on top of each other through the ages is because this would be the place that matters, right? This is where the stones were just, I mean, like humans stumbled upon some of like the original nodal systems, and now it's all like through whatever eons it's been trashed and deteriorated. We've gone through the fall, so now we're subject to like, who knows, oxidation or something, and the sine waves eat us. But what do you think about that, Mike?
I totally agree on the importance thing. Just go by London is built on a swamp. Amsterdam is built on a swamp. Antwerp built on a swamp. St. Petersburg built on a swamp. Moscow built on a swamp. You can go on. All these really important cities all built on swamps. Why would you build a city on a swamp if the location didn't have a certain significance? There's plenty of other places you can build cities other than in a swamp.
That's really, really interesting that they're all built on swamps. Reminds me of like Louisiana down there and all the shit we've got built on a swamp.
Venice is a lake.
What's New Orleans?
One that wasn't a swamp, but
New Orleans is a swamp, right? That used to be a big star city.
Louisiana.
Swamp Thing. That's what it makes me think of.
Rome is a nice exception, being built on 7 hills.
Rats.
But Mexico City, built in a lake.
Well, there's one in Baltimore. It's a freaking island. I think we talked about that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, too, because it looks exactly like it's perfectly measured for the water line. I was explaining it to my grandfather because I was like, don't you think that's pretty important? And I could tell it definitely blew his mind, which was really cool. But he's like, maybe it was like, water came afterwards. I'm like, yeah, but look at it. It's literally perfectly aligned for the water. It's like, how does that even happen?
Huge. That's huge, man. I bet that wave motion, the natural wave motion of the undulation up and down, slapping against some kind of, because the pyramids were all built with the same thing. They'd hit those pockets where the Nile would flood and everything, all their shit would grow. But they designed it so that they were doing something with the water, and they were probably separating the hydrogen from the oxygen somehow, and then salt water, you're going to have the whole family of potassiums right there and salts and whatnot. So you've got really neat. Those are probably some kind of machines. It's just, man, we've fallen so damn far. We've literally got to start at scratch, and like when you start at scratch, you've got to like pretty much your first job is to just get rid of shit, like literally learning to let go of all the garbage you've got, like have inside of you that you've been fed. You think of like little children, how they're so pure and they're straight from the source, and you have to like train to become one of these things in this world. It takes a lot of training and falling to get down to the gross materialism and sense data system and delicious desires that everybody's eating everywhere. There's literally nobody practicing anything with willpower. There really is. There's a lot of great people out there doing a lot of great work, but I'm talking about
The average,
mask.
though, yeah.
Yeah, that mask. I mean, because that's what the goal is. I mean, you're going to find beautiful souls tucked in here and there. That's because you don't put all the lighthouses together. You spread them out. You put them near the rocks and near the danger points. That's why probably everybody listening is probably in an area where they can shine their light and help others. I mean, if you are a being that emits instead of sucks up time in the reverse order, you're giving life to those around you, and you're probably in a situation where you can express that, because that's literally your manifestation here. Like you wouldn't get pulled in, you wouldn't manifest into something where like you wouldn't be able to do your job. It's just not how this whole thing works. It's very much the most badass program there ever was. That's some kind of, it's literally a program, and when you're in the program, it just feels so real. Pretty much feeling, it created feeling. Whatever feeling is, that is the fixed system that doesn't die, because the feeling is the fixed cross. So and that's the original air in a way. If you look at the very beginning, you've got Capricorn and you've got Aquarius as Pan as one. So you've got Earth consciousness, Earth air, and that's feeling right there. That air, when you see the air sign, that's very much the like the ether, or the thing that gives you feeling or qualia. There's something it's like to split wood, right? I mean, there's something it feels like to go out and to try to split wood with a maul or an axe or something. There's a certain experience, and you start to feel certain things, and it brings forth certain knowledge inside of you from just going through the feelings. There's something it's like to throw a ball. You've done that through so many lifetimes that we've become good at certain motions that we've done here, and it's just all a huge feeling system. And then the bonus is going to be the fire and the water, right? That's the left and the right there. I mean, that's pretty much your duality, everything you see is in that system right there, because you need the fire to see it, right? I mean, if you need the sense data, you need this big thing. I call it Lu. It's just Lu, big blue. You got a big blue sky behind it. It's luminescence. It's so you can see things. It's Lucifer, so you can see the fur. It pretty much gives you that. It really hides your inner nature. It wraps you like a shell, and yeah, man, it's beautiful. So I think it's going to be a program where just electricity or light or magnetism or all that shit. We're probably the whole damn thing, all the parts. Like, me having Saturn right on my ascendant, I'd love to sit here all day and say I'm Saturn, but I'm not. I'm the whole damn, we're all the things. I mean, my Venus is just as important as my Mars. You need every part. If you've got a fucked up part, man, doesn't matter how good your system is. Like, you still got a bum knee. You still can't run. You're still not going to have available to you everything there is to access here. Us not having wings in our back, we can't fly around, physically in matter world. That's something we don't have access to from this seat of perception yet, or we've lost it. I don't freaking know, but I want to fly, man.
Psychedelics come in, man.
Yeah, I know. You got to fly I want to fly physically.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard weird stories of people in Mexico, like people see people just hovering above the trees up and down the mountains. I want to go.
Do you ever
do
see
that.
the videos of that?
No, yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
Russian video I saw a few years back where this girl's flying. It's very odd though, because it actually makes sense because they run away really quick, and obviously if your daughter's flying in the air and someone shows up with a camera, like, that's a lot of questions, but they like took off running. And then you guys know Gnostic Human Niraj. He said that the yogis can levitate. He said he's gonna try to get videos for me.
I'm not surprised at all. Like, I've said that like since I was a little kid with the monks in Nepal and Tibet. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys do that on a daily basis, because all the people that live in the same monastery, they don't doubt that stuff. Right?
No.
They eat
They
mercury.
put no doubt in that. Like, these people, they levitate. Sure enough. Well, that's not nothing special. But then Western boy comes in, and all these people just like they sink to the ground because there's some doubter in their midst.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I think too. With especially doing DMT, that shows you. It's very simply put, and we're talking about qualia and experience, and when you do DMT, it's like the only thing keeping you here is your obligations of whatever the lower dimensional shit is, like whatever the stupid human shit you're involved in. Like you do, like it literally shows you can do whatever. You could just boom, see you later. Like if you don't have any obligations, like if you don't have kids, you don't have family, you don't have friends, you did DMT, you probably would they just you would never find you. You just disappear like a cathar or something like that. I think that's 100% possible.
I reckon they wouldn't even know you were there.
Yeah, you would just phase out because you don't have any strings. And every time not every single time, but a lot of the times I've done it, it's like the only obligation you have is your willpower to be here. So like I keep coming back here when I do those things. I'm like, oh fuck, all right, I'm back here. So what do? I guess I have to do whatever you know whatever things I do. But psychedelics are really
That's
powerful.
beautifully said.
Thanks. It's interesting too because that one dude I was talking to, Andreas, I forget his name, Emelson. He talks about qualia a lot, Barry. I'll have to send you some of his videos. He's all about making words for the psychedelic experience, and like I say, I think very honestly, the psychedelic experience is just something you can train to do. All it's doing is pumping up the amount of chemicals you already have in your system. So we could fly. We could probably do. It raises lot of crazy questions though. Like, what's going to be your superpower? Are you going to be the Hulk? Are you going to be
That's a good point. I was going to jump in a while back and say I'd be more like the one that sits in like the pile of snow and can like melt out like within a 50-foot circle or so. I'd be that one.
You're just
I feel
you're a
like
heater.
a fire being, man.
Oh yeah,
Like
you could be.
my old gods in me, my deep-seated natures are, I really think from fire a lot. I mean, I've got an Aries sun, which is an exalted sun. I've got a Mars Aries, which is all my action is very fiery. I mean, and it sits all in the seventh. You know, that both of those, my Aries, that's all in the seventh, which is for others. So all of my fiery action is not for myself. It's literally for others. Like I didn't come here to put down this energy output for me. I came to, you know, fucking lift everybody up, like
Yeah,
everybody. And
that's
it's
true
really,
illumination too.
that's right. I mean, and it's you do. I mean, because if you're gonna be at the heart, right? I mean, you do things for others, like with compassionate action. So you're gonna actually matter there. Like you're gonna be part of that.
Uh-oh. I think we lost Barry.
Uh-oh.
It happens. Question is how long he rants before he realizes it. I'll take any bets.
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Ding! It might be. If I kick him off, sometimes he gets the message. I'll kick him out. Oh, wait, I can't. I don't know if I have permissions. I don't have permissions. Anyways.
Is that kick?
Yeah, he'll get it. This happens every episode, pretty much.
If I kick him, he can just come back in, right?
Yeah, you can kick him. Sometimes it helps. He's probably ranting though. Yeah, freaking superpowers, man. That's Terrence McKenna talks about that too. With psychedelics and stuff, where he says like, if it gives you the potential to be anything because you're basically your imagination. So it's like, what would you be if you can literally be? If we can all fly, think about like reality, like you start seeing people flying around. Like, are people gonna want to still work? Are they still going to have jobs? Are you know, what if people are like, oh, I can walk through walls. I'm gonna like freaking go rob a bank right now, and then you get like, I mean, very real superhero stories with very real consequences at the same time.
Oh, kicking did not have the right effect. I literally kicked him from the server, but I
Oh
did send
no!
him.
All right, we'll get him back.
Suggest moving back and forth in the other voice chat rooms, because that I noticed in the past that tends to jig things up a bit.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, good. He's back.
Hey guys, yeah, I dropped at some point there.
All good, man. We're just talking about superpowers and how crazy it would be with, you know, if that was real. Well, not that if it's real. It's like when it happens, so everyone starts flying around. Like, what are you? You know, are you gonna go to work the next day because everyone's flying? You gonna fly to work?
Right.
I don't know if I'd go to work.
Did I miss any superpowers? What do you guys think yours would be? Like, what do you feel's deeply innate inside of you that you have access to that you kind of came to bring, I guess, and show others?
Sure. Mine's teleportation. I already know that. And other things that I can't talk about.
That's awesome.
We also have a new guest. Do we want to introduce Hollywood 5250?
Hello.
Well,
Hello.
Welcome. Are you in Hollywood?
That's not
your
coming.
superpower?
Is it? Yeah, he is in Hollywood.
Word. What's your superpower?
My superpower?
Yeah.
I remember where stuff is.
Well, that's pretty good.
oh my God, that's tell us more.
That's a good
I
one.
don't know, man. You give me a location on Google Earth, and I go there.
Whoa. So you're the map maker. You're the cartographer.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we would need
Dude,
wayfinders.
reminds me of Edgar Casey. They would use his ability to get into the beta waves, and they would pretty much use those hypnosis or whatever he was doing abilities to find missing people.
Yeah.
Like, it's trippy, dude.
Yeah, that's stuff I can do. I remember where stuff is for some reason. Like I don't read books. I don't really watch a lot of these videos that all these people talk about. For me, it just comes and goes.
Hey, we have so Joshua White, he's in our chat room right now on the stream. He says his superpower is being able to thrust my hand into a sink full of knives and not get cut. He's a master dishwasher.
Oh my God, dude!
Not bad.
Josh, I'm competing with you, man. I've literally I always think about the stats that you're going to get to see on the other side, and dishes washed by hand. I'm I'm not going to say I'm at the top, but I'm really fighting for it. I've got a lot of dishes I put down by hand.
Me
Dishwasher
too.
broke a long time ago, and really you're the best dishwasher. But yes, people putting freaking shit in upside down and oh man, just rinse your shit out, dude. It takes like under 3 seconds to flip the thing on, throw a little bit of water in, let it eat that shit away. It's a awesome corrosive, that way I ain't gotta get my biceps all huge scrubbing all that shit out.
Did you ever have to do melted
never
cheese? I used to have to do that at a restaurant. Melted fucking cheese on a plate. Oh my.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I
just
threw
don't
away
like
some
the smell of
plates.
ketchup.
You're one of those guys? Do you like tomatoes though?
Oh, I love ketchup. Like I'll eat it on stuff. I just don't like hardened ketchup on a plate in the sink, and I don't like that smell of hot water steam coming up off that when I'm trying to scrub it off. That part's the part I don't like.
I feel that. How about Brett? What's your power, man? We need to know everyone's powers, because right now we're making the Injustice Avengers squad, so we need to know what you can do to help the world.
I mean, I was thinking along the lines of mowing grass and stuff. And then, I mean, if you hit a golf ball into the forest, I can find it.
Oh shit! So we got another tracker. That's cool.
That's awesome.
You're a druid.
I did that as a kid, man. I'd take a backpack up to the golf course on my bike, and I'd just go through the woods, and fuck yeah, dude.
Finding golf balls.
Guys, so far we can teleport around, and we've got fire to cook for me, and then we can do the dishes, and then we can also we pretty much got golf balls, man. And,
we got all the golf balls.
Grass mode. No snakes in the grass.
My superpower would be I'd go around and make people's girlfriends cool. You know,
cool, like physically, like cool, or like
chill, just like if they're all wilding out.
So you're just a weed dealer.
That's awesome. No, that's take some psycho crazy. You know, you'd probably
Karens.
There's probably like an equal
like
for you,
charmer.
like a woman that could do it for men, that could make him not a dick.
Well, that's not my department. That's not my department.
Oh.
So that's cool, man. You can smooth out, you can calm down the ladies, and that's definitely that's what this whole system is about. What do you think we came here to do as a male? It's fucking really loud, right? So, and what do that silence and that quietness and that peace is beautiful. So when you got something fucking screaming at you across the cosmos, all these things crying, all this pain, I mean, it's not like you're just gonna be able to sit there down the road and like not listen to.
We're not the only ones in the universe. We're not the only ones in the universe dealing with this, so everybody can relate. You know?
Absolutely. Love that. That's a very needed skill. There's a lot of women here. Women.
What's Amy's superpower?
Oh shit. I'm gonna have to let her say that, so I'm not even gonna. She should be down a little bit.
All right. Well, we got a good array of powers here. I mean, as far as taking care of the chores, I think we got that figured out, and I like it.
Yeah. And Josh is. I know Josh. His dishes. That's a. that knives thing. There's a lot into that. I mean that. All of our freaking medals, our Bible interpretation. He's got some solid departments, alchemy, astrology. I mean, the guy's loaded down.
Nice.
I have never met literally a human being on the face of this planet that can comprehend stuff so cleanly. And I mean, it's just, what's the problem here? It's nobody wants to listen, so it becomes futile. You end up just working on yourself because that's literally the only thing you can work on. And this is such an egoic world that you have to make yourself so badass so others will stop and say, hey, what the fuck is he doing or on? And how do hey, how'd you do that? Like we're gonna have to learn how to teleport, pull all these fucking things in just so people will finally listen to the fucking, the help that they need in hell. And that's why we're helpers.
She says her power is inner resetter, arc healing. Wow, cool. She's a healer.
Yeah, Lord knows
we need healers.
Healed the fuck out of a lot of shit in me.
You know what's crazy about video games and like anime and shit, especially anime, because like in the last maybe like 5 years, there's been a ton of anime. It's like sort of a new trope where they everyone's got superpowers. They're just like something happened and everyone now has superpowers. So like, and they then the story deals with that. And some of the stories are really totally nuts. I mean, like people just die all the time because everyone's got crazy powers, and like you have people with like very I don't want to say overpowered, but what do you do when someone is super powerful? And like, I mean, it makes like reality. I mean, it makes like watching sports and all the dumb shit we did as humans before like very, very pointless, I don't know.
Yeah, it
Japan's
becomes.
ahead.
I mean, because I grew up in New England, and my dad. I was meat and potatoes house. We'd watch all the New England sports, all the Boston teams, and it was big rivalries and shit with New York. So I mean, literally all of New England is very much caught up in. Well, it used to be. It's probably not. It just feels like that's all slipping away.
Yeah.
The only game I want is the Mayan ball game with your hip, where people could get. I don't want to say
Yeah.
killed because people don't die. I mean, yeah, you got to go get a new body now, but I mean, then it was like the games were ceremoniously placed for around the equinoxes and solstices and other actual real festivals of light and darkness. This is a place of balance, so we celebrated them all because you can't have one without the other in duality, or the place wouldn't fucking exist. So I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
needed. It's all about balance. You got to balance the inner and the inner and the outer. That's what you got to do.
Right. Balance, rhythm, and harmony, man. That's what I've been trying to rock.
I mean, if you want to be the particle, then you can't let the wave eat you. You've got to eat the waves, which is the whole point behind bury sine waves. It's got, you can bury them, like you can eat them. You can bear e like you're naked, like you're pretty much eating those sine waves, and that's the particle. The particle is the sine waves. I mean, you're a manifestation of 360 degrees around you, shit going on inside and above. I mean, you've got stuff coming in everywhere, and you are the result of that activity. It's like literally you're creating space. The only place that you have is the fucking really the whole thing, because you are the inner and the outer in a sense. Your crown, your invisible crown, is your mind. You can't, I mean, and that's the part that does fly and that goes anywhere while you're just sitting still in the middle at the heart. All you've got to do is, I mean, think of the magnetic field that the heart puts out. That thing is like, what, 1,000 times that of the brain? I mean, so it shows you that if you're in the mind, you're trapped in this little bubble and you're in the heart. This was all a gift of love. It wasn't a necessity of logic. The Big Bang, that all that shit that makes it sound like it was logical necessity and this led to that, it's not linear. It wasn't like that. This is held in love. This is held in love for eternity. And it will always be. That's why, because 13 is can't be factored. It's a prime number. I mean, when you go to put everything away and you put all the stuff and organize it, the prime numbers are the prime numbers, and they sit as the prime numbers. And all the fields collapse, and the fields can come and go, but the prime numbers stay. And the prime numbers probably are the ones that create the fields. Or the fields created the prime numbers, and that's probably what the fucking transparent is. And
They're
who
probably
knows?
like
But
positional nodes, probably in a way.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
because the whole purpose, like oxidation, we live in a system where you get eaten up by just the oxygen. Like literally, there's like you've got gold, you've got silver is still subject to decay. I mean, you handle it and it goes in you. I mean, I'm not saying it goes anywhere. It probably still is silver somewhere, but I mean, that's the whole point of the lead to gold. I mean, the lead is going to decay, into iron as Mars, into silver as the moon, and it probably drops down into gold at the heart. And we're in between that. And that's probably why the metals like rhodium, palladium, we're probably in between silver and gold right there on some kind of spectrum on the matter side. And those are our local heart silvers, like the very noble silver families, and that's why those are the most expensive. It's $30,000
Holy
last
shit.
time I checked for an ounce of rhodium. It's
Is that the same
about
as
three.
radium? Like,
No, no, no.
okay.
This is like all roads lead to Rome, right? To ROAM, roaming around. So it's probably got the biggest some kind of field off of it, or the most thermal like conductivity or something. It's like a really refined silver in a sense.
Well, if you guys watched
So
that John Levy video, I think it was last week, he talked about fireplace research and how it was some sort of radium device. It kind of looks like a hookah thing without the pipes. But it's like somehow they channeled radium energy that would then you put it in your fireplace and that would shoot the energy up, and then I guess it would radiate out into your home too, which I don't know enough about that stuff, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean that stuff does make sense because I mean, where's all the black soot marks? You know, I mean,
Right.
chimney cleaners are when the fall happened, when the wood happened. And
Yeah.
something else was going on there, man. They were electromagnetically set up to the city that they were in, which is you're sitting in the E, and they had a moon temple, they had a sun temple, and then they had a Mars and Venus structures, and all of those structures combined, sitting on nodal like star fort aligned systems everywhere, had the power grid. And just by having a home and a chimney, that was a square brick thing, and it probably did something with a circle, and then the things coming down the two accesses at the fireplace. You've always got two poles, and then you probably just set something in between the two poles, and it fucking comes on.
Etheric energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Or the
why
water
why
system.
surround the quote unquote fireplace with pieces of art?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you have a
like you said,
fireplace, it's a pain in the ass.
fireplace. It's
You're,
the
you're
place of fire. It's your real electric outlet. That's exactly right.
like why put wood and
Ether
stuff
fire, probably.
and have your whole art collection suited up by coal?
Yeah.
Yep.
And wooden fireplaces are common too, which is very. It's like what?
And you've seen some of the descriptions of the old cities of America when they walked in. They pretty much, there were crystal palaces, big crystal pillars, gold pillars. A lot of the old Nuremberg stories, I think, were really out of New England. And whenever the war happened here and they finally got to this place, it was, just like the rest, just beautifully. I mean, the reason you didn't see the crystal and the gold pillars in other places is because they destroyed it a lot longer ago.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a whole connected system set up, man. They knew the whole thing, and that's what the whole point of this was. I think everybody got really sad too because we had to go through the fall. Something happened where we missed something. We didn't have it right, and we had to reset it. There was no other choice, and it was very heartbreaking, literally. And it's we've got to refine the fire because now we're going to have, if you can get through the loo, you're going to have both fires, and then you're going to be able to make stuff visible into physical matter, which is going to be considered the quintessence, which is going to be the fifth. You're raising things up above the four cardinal directions into actually a triangle, one side of the tetrahedron of matter, and then you bring it to life with the other side with the water, and that animates it and makes it move. So it's we're gonna know all this. I mean, we have to. It's we're not gonna look at what they're doing to the kids. They're making them dumber and dumber and dumber. I mean, just like in the latest Levette video, if you guys heard that, like they're just dumbing them down through time. None of them know what a thesaurus is. I mean, anything. None of them can even write anymore because they're using computers.
Oh yeah, you can see that with kids.
No kid left behind, right?
Take tablets, right?
Yeah, they have them. They have them all on like tablets and shit. Yeah, it's bad, man.
Man, I used to run around in the mud and all that stuff. They need to scream to get me in. They had a bell mounted on the wall, like ding 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 ding. You need to come home, go and eat something.
Yep.
All right,
I know.
Ready?
Yeah, man. Kids used to be out playing in the forest and having fun and being kids, and they left the house because that's where all the dumb rules were and all the adults were stuck in their, freaking adult paradigm, and you wanted to go out into Never Land. Like in the forest, there's only one rule, and it's the natural law. I mean, you got to respect nature. Nature will take you out quick. You think nature can drop a widowmaker on you anywhere in the forest at any time. It's got all the power in the world behind it. So you better respect it. You better give it love. You better hold it in your heart and be a representative of it here for it and be on its side. You do not want to be against Mother Nature.
I feel like when you're younger, though, you're naturally like when I teach young people, it's like they already are like in that state of natural respect for the world. But then because it's interesting when you do K through 8, so it's like K through like third grade, they're still they're uncultured is the best way I can put it. So like once you get to fourth grade, you got the kids talking about politics because they hear it from their parents, and you're like, Jesus Christ. And then you get to fifth and sixth, seventh and eighth, and they don't even really give a shit about school very much, and they don't really, because they have phones and they're very acculturated. They think like that schools are kind of a waste of time because no one's and because the schools are all in America, at least they're all designed to pretty much just facilitate existence because they don't pay their teachers much and they don't have a lot of money, but a lot of them are government subsidized, I guess is the best way. So it's all about money, and then the kids are just forced to take tests and pass the test because the state says that, oh, you need to pass this test to be educated, and then they get money based on that or based on those test results. So it's like, of course the education sucks. I mean, like, it's not designed to teach you anything. It's
At least in the States,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Pete says, you really have a connection with nature. Like there is an actual risk of going the fuck out there. In the Netherlands, there's
Yeah.
no forests here. You got a couple of patches of woods, but there's nothing really wild here.
Yeah.
The worst thing you will encounter here is a fox.
Nice.
Oh,
Foxes are beautiful.
They yeah. Oh no, like, and I say the worst thing you will encounter here, but that's like the most dangerous animal in the Netherlands is a fox. Apparently there was a wolf roaming around, but that came from Germany.
right.
And
So is it mostly like it's just like turned into farms and grazing and hills and food production?
there's nothing here. That's it. It's just
That sounds like
the
Ohio.
whole of the Netherlands, the country is Netherlands. The whole thing comes from the swamps and the sea. It's all
It's
reclaimed
neat. If you look at the spelling, they're hiding ether in there. So it might be when you say there's nothing there, I mean that might be really symbolic for literally like the space in the very center, like the nether, the ether. The N, like N is na to know, and it's a very place of knowing, and you have space and original air. So it could be, has it been fought over? Has there been a lot of wisdom coming out of the Netherlands, like poets and
by nothing there, I more meant the nature part. I wasn't
the matter.
nothing there. I mean, I can go on a bit about the Netherlands and all the stuff that comes from here.
Spiritually, though, how do you relate people of the Netherlands to other people in the world that culturally you've seen how they act? What do you think the Netherlands kind of still holds on to that it's not given up yet? That's original and supposed to be,
We're still Batavia at heart. Like
Mm-hmm.
from when William of Orange came over from England, landed at some beach, and basically said, "All that I survey is mine." And the Batavi were like, "Oh, sure, bro. As long as I can fish and grow my stuff, you go ahead and claim
Yep.
it. It's yours." You know that scene from Monty Python with when he rolls up to the two farmers that are digging in the dirt.
Yeah.
That's basically the Dutch. You could point it down to that. Like, what? We have a king? Oh, okay. Well, I'm digging dirt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We take turns.
That's pretty neat.
The controlling system here is pretty pretty prevailing. We have one of those bloodlines here, the Oranges. The Netherlands is basically the toxic waste dump of the world. We have no laws when it comes to ship fuel production. So everybody and their grandmother sends their stuff to Rotterdam to have it made into ship fuel. And you you worry about your car that pollutes. It really doesn't.
Goodness. And then Lee, over in England, you've got a similar. I mean, you guys, like you've got like forests. They've pretty much, you're down to the city stuff there, but you've got family out in the country out there. So I mean, it's got to be. Is that similar to the Netherlands in a way, or how do you feel yourself versus Mike and culture wise? Like, what's just a little bit up the road there to the northwest, I guess. Lee might not be there. That's cool.
He's AFK.
Lee is southwest a bit in London. And
my bad, southwest. So you're above him in latitude then. Okay.
Yeah, slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Just slightly.
Okay. It's interesting. It's I don't know, man. It's a neat world. It's supposed to be border free, where we're all supposed to be able to go around and share with each other physically and analog as well.
That's one of those things the Star Fort narrative sort of takes, right? You look at all these Star Forts, and especially in Europe where there's so many uncovered. Like in the States, there's too many have been taken down by your Army Corps of Engineers.
I know it. I worked for them too. It was bad. I worked at a dam system, and they flood the areas where the Star Forts were.
That's it.
Yeah.
But especially in Europe, where you see the pattern, like what borders? This was all one great big thing. You're not telling me that, like, all over the world, these people said, well, this is the best fortification system. And then historically, that best fortification system gets defeated everywhere. It's like, it's a stupid thing. You shouldn't do this. It's useless. It's a waste of brick. It's this, it's that. Like, yet they're everywhere.
Makes me think, you know how you see a lot of the old pictures with them, like the bricks on the street and them making bricks? I wonder if they were just taking the bricks from the other buildings and putting them into different shapes. I mean, I don't know. I've collected a lot of brick samples. Someday I'll do some brick research in my old age and see what all the different bricks are made up out of.
Even historically, that is what is they broke down the fortification walls to expand upon the city. They took all the top layer of the pyramids to expand upon Cairo. You can go on.
Yeah.
They probably did the same in Athens.
Yeah.
You just break down all these monuments to build more houses, because hey, where else are you going to get bricks from?
I've heard too that the the pyramid system they've got, so they're trying to tie it to Orion's belt right now, but that there's two, a left and right pyramid off the middle one, and it actually makes the Southern Cross, or it makes Cygnus the Swan, and they're supposed to be also very large, but and it's also got the same pattern as Orion's belt. I think maybe we could have had the circle could have been smaller, and then those constellations, or bigger, and those constellations could have been different in those areas, but now they are, because if you look at Orion, he's on the equator right now. The whole world can see him pretty much, and like every time of year, I think, and anything on the equator right there is very visible to all that goes up and down. So I think maybe our equator constellations would have been obviously a different set. It could have been on the 8 system. So maybe when you see the old zodiacs and they've got 1 in the center and 8 on the outer, that could have been just a different circle we were on closer to home or something. I don't know. That 12 put us in the movement when we moved from the system of 9 to the system of 13, or the 8 to the 12 right there. We added 4. We added a cross. So we added a couple sticks right there. That gave us the north, south, east, west, so we could actually move. And the movement is what caused the matter right there when we left the center. But I think we never actually left. We only thought we left. So we are literally, we think we're in matter, but we're still just light. And we've donned, in our light bodies, we believe it's matter. So it's a real big mind fuck. And we're getting through it though. I mean, we really are. The big secret is that if everything's light, literally, if everything is light, then it's all going to be in the same dimension, and you're not going to be able to go through it. So if you want to be in this dimension and walk through walls, you've got to be something different than the light part. You've got to probably be the darkness, the B lack, which you lack a body, or you lack a 13, because B is 13. And
it's a good
I don't know, that might be when you balance the darkness and the light, but the darkness, I've heard that the white is the most powerful thing, which would make sense because all color, I guess, would be being expressed with that white ray. But black contains all light, so that would that like swallowed it all, and it can keep it inside. So the white of light birth is an interior birth almost, and it's inside of a crystal egg, like a the black is contained by this clear thing like this, and I want to know how a crystal can hold darkness. I mean, that's interesting, right? Like it would have to be huge. It would have to, if darkness holds all light, then the crystal holds all darkness. I mean, that's a really interesting concept right there. And then
I
you
can
can
see it.
only really be born when you leave the crystal.
Starfall shaped like crystals.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You got a couple of pictures there. That's a funny display of, like, we talked about superpowers earlier. Most of the ones you've been showing, I know exactly where they are.
That's awesome.
You show this. This is in India.
Oh, I've been going down, so I'm.
That's one of the Channel Islands.
I'm on. Oh wow! Yeah, look at that thing, huh?
Yeah, I've been just kind of picking a bunch of them and looking at them because, I mean, yeah, it's stuff great. If you're just new to hearing any of this stuff, like, just Google that shit and look at them, and then think about that. Like, just ask yourself, why hasn't this been mentioned in any of my schooling? Seems pretty major.
Right. And they're everywhere, all over the world. Everything that literally melts, that like all the lands north and south, all in our lands, they're everywhere. Like you can't find a land without a star for it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
There's a couple of countries that I don't have them filled in, but that means they're unexplored, or it's invisible because the Google Earth doesn't provide that much detail. But as it is, I've got 10,000 marked.
Wow.
That's a ton, man. That's a freaking ton. 10,000. I mean, come on. They're probably going to line up to the stars. There's probably going to be, in terms of the visible stars that we can see with the human eye, you're going to have visible star forts that you can see lining up. And that's what probably they're hiding, is that these all tie as above, so below formula. And
exactly.
Yeah, so you can know where everything is. You can know where metals are, because you can learn all the elements, where all the stars are coming from, what elements they're in. And then you can also learn how those elements manifest here. You could learn the different types of people that live in those areas and how the creator expresses at its highest form of light in those areas as a human. I mean, you can know what grows where, like, oh, the bread belts or the grain belts, what stars make up those. Obviously, if there's grain belts over here and grain belts here and here, they appear 3 places in the world. That must be tied to one of the element trines or something. I mean, you can really just, if you knew, I'm trying to find, it's so hard to find that knowledge. It's like it's really if anybody can ever find how the stars tie up to this Earth, really, it's gonna be your map. Then you'll have the key to everything. Literally, you would be able to know everything. You would have to start your knowledge of the stars and start to understand astronomy and astrology combined as one mechanical spiritual nature, and then you would know how it manifests here, and then you would know also your whole entire body up and down. You would know if you were on this part of the Earth, what part of the body of the Earth you were in. So if you were sick in this part of the body, where to find the healing things that you need for that part of the body. I mean,
a real secret. A real, like people talk about what's secret knowledge, but like just having the knowledge to start building anything towards what you're talking about is literally the only secret worth keeping,
Yeah, and that's probably the only one worth hiding too for them.
Yeah.
If they can keep us on that left and right, looking on the circle of north, east, south, west, you're not going to be looking above and below. And that's just as important. I mean,
wow, here's a cool picture.
That's in Portugal, near Elvas.
Wow.
Here's one that's
look at the cube inside the star on there. That's nuts.
You should see that one from above, Elvas, Portugal.
Wow. What is that?
BFG. That's Warhammer.
Oh, I was like, Black Fortress? I was like, where is
that? That's Warhammer. That's
Warhammer 40K.
Yep. That's the Star Fort in Warhammer 40.
It's cool to that's cool if they reference it too. There's a bunch of movies you can watch that are from the 80s and 70s that have references to Star Forts. Like this isn't like people have known about these for that's if you made a movie in the 70s, it's 50 years ago almost. So
right.
This isn't. I think
it's just like the Tartaria. Like I mean, if you ask grandparents about Tartaria, they learned about Tartars in school. We don't.
Is that
here we go, Warhammer Star Fort.
that Warhammer Star Fort has a pyramid in the center. Now you take a 4-pointed Star Fort and place a pyramid in the center. You got the same thing.
Yeah, you do.
Not on a 5-point, but on a 4-point you do.
All the geometry's there on those as you work towards the center. I mean, it's like you're seeing that crystal clear to the black to the white, you know, to the red to the blue. You can see all those parts on the Star Forts where they fractal in. When you hit that 5 right there that you have up, that's Venus. I mean, when you're hitting that pentagonal structure, you're getting to the metal system right there. That's why you've got, I mean, a lot of people hold that Venus is actually a comet, which would be with metal. So, I mean, and if you think of how it relates to Mercury, you get liquid metal stage, and then at 1083 degrees, you've got copper occurring. I think that might be Celsius. And then everything's dropping down from the metals, pretty much, it could be from that gold center right there. So we could probably be in between copper and silver just as easily. So
I think copper makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, copper iron. My bad. Copper iron. Venus,
I can see
Venus,
that.
Mars.
Yeah, copper
with a
Statue of Liberty,
which could be a jump up if you look at the iron to silver, and then if you look at the copper to the gold. You could really be looking at the sun and the moon closest to us as the silver gold, and then us right here at the center, inside of the silver and the gold, which is really interesting.
And they raised Venus from the depths.
They did raise Venus from the depths. Yeah, they really did.
I remember a while back.
We're in a beautiful Venus time right now. We're in an out of bounds Venus where it's extended very far north. It's the double Venus period, so we've got Venus in the morning is the first star or last star visible, and at night it's the first star to come out. So we're really at the position of Venus on our system, right on top of us. So it's giving us life right now. This is when this occurs on the opposing position, when it would be happening in the southern hemisphere, it's taking life back from the north and organizing everything in the fall, which is where justice, where she has her sword, where she has her wheat, which she takes something away and replaces a magical fruit. So that's why we have all the fruit and all the harvest appearing at that time, because she's taking back all of her green. That's why all the leaves turn colors. It's got to go back through that color process right there. So everything returns. And the only thing that you're left with is the refined nature, the reflective cardinal air. Okay, Amy just said, unless you're towards the center of the cross where it's always green, which is true. On that hinge point right there, you've got to have a spot where it never leaves and it's connected to the system and tethered in. So, I mean, that's probably got fractaled and it strands off into multiple areas now, like a spinal cord that's been ripped apart and is just trying to spike down and ground into the correct areas of the body. But it's, instead of hitting the arm, it went down the wrong chute because they drilled a hole and fractaled this and it sent it down into the rib cage, and it's trying to spike in there, and there's your hand on your right rib cage, and it's just all jacked up. I mean, this whole system is a beautiful design system that once we get the power over this darkness that's in here trying to really help us, I mean, this is a beautiful gift. When you overcome a virus, you're stronger. You're even stronger. So then you can take this even stronger thing that you've created, and now it's almost become like a part of the immune system. You use it to fight off bad shit because so many things have come at this thing, and this thing's still alive. I mean, that's pretty special. I mean, you can throw everything in the world at us and we're just still there smiling. You can't take it away. You can't take the inner joy away when you come to know what you are. It's just something you can't do. When you know that you don't die, when you know that you're energy, and energy can only be transferred, it's you know that there's continuance. You might not know how yet, and that's not important. It's important to enjoy the moment and to soak it all in, and it's an eternal moment. You're always going to be in a now somewhere. So just fucking chill. I mean, that's just the way it works.
I just want to say real quick because you were talking about copper, and I think it's very interesting if you look at skin color because that's a powerful political tool these days. But just looking at it, it all just to me looks like variations of copper, just coming from artistic and just looking at color and way paint works and stuff like that. And if you look at like skin color, it's like even white, you're kind of just a silvery version of copper, and then if you get darker, it's just darker versions of copper.
Copper is ridiculously varied in colors, and the
Yeah.
mineral solution you can get from copper is stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can go from like literally electric blue to opaque green.
That's awesome.
So I'm wondering if gold's going to come from a refined copper. Like you take this rougher state, and copper's not very stable, right? It's a little erratic. So then you take a even more refined nature of that, and you end up with a gold that's stable and dependable, which is why they use it in all their circuitry and whatnot. Just think of the gold fingers of computers, motherboards, and shit. I mean, it's all stable things you can depend upon that aren't erratic, that will cause jumps and bad arcs across things. And that's Venus. That's why when she comes in, she's lighting everything up. I mean, she smiles on everybody right there. It's not the sinners and the saints. Everybody gets Venus. I mean, and then the gold is a little bit. It's a little bit different. I mean, if you want the gold, the inner gold, you've got to learn to act like it, which would mean you reflect all life coming in. So everything coming at you, you give out. Like you don't keep any for yourself. That's pretty much going to be gold. It reflects all. But I mean, but you are the gold. That's why you don't need to keep anything for yourself. I mean, that's why it's kind of sacrilegious for a spiritual person, a soulful person to walk around wearing gold, because there's a lot of cultures that it's very impure to do something like that, because you are the gold itself. You already have the gold. To put it on the outside of you shows that you don't understand where the gold goes. You have it on the outside. It's an inside thing. And the silver is on the outside, because if you look at our system, that's how we get the mirror reflection, and that's how we get the bounce back, which creates the image. If you didn't have that thermal conductivity at 97 something percent, which if you think about that, 3% is getting through. So if you want to get past the moon or the vanilla belt, you've got to get into that 2 point something percent range where you're outside of the thermal conductivity and the bounce back of the moon. So you're going to be stuck in the color world and the forms and the shades of black and white, which get colored by the sun. And it shoots the cross through with the red through the blue spectrum right there, with the yellow in the middle probably as the sulfur. And
I like
where
that.
we're all yelling. We're all yelling out of the middle, yellow. We're all, it's you got to learn to listen, fly the sun, lie it down, bury those wigs.
Bear, can you hear me?
Yep, I got somebody there.
Oh yeah,
Whoever
it's Hollywood, dude. I just want to make a quick comment on something you were talking about, just real quick.
Go for it, Hollywood. Yeah, brother.
So I've been looking into you. So you say how the system is broken, the system is sick, and I agree 100%.
Okay.
I've through some of the research I've done, like there's if you were to compare the Mediterranean to a mouth, right?
Okay. Okay.
And I've done this. The jaw, that's where you get the donkey jawbone for that Samson used in the Philistines. If you look at the mandible bone, that's actually this. It's the same angle that you have going from like Tunisia across the delta.
Yeah, the Africa part.
Right,
Yeah.
and then you swing up to Israel, Palestine, and the Levant. That's the upward part of the jaw, right?
Wow, it is.
I can post a picture. I have a comparison picture.
Is that why they go for Jerusalem, so they can be the voice out of the mouth right there?
Yes, dude. So 100. So you get Italy is the tongue. It's the forked tongue, right? And then
okay, yeah.
but then this is the problem. You have we have bad teeth. That's why the dentistry is such a cult. It's such a cult because when you have a rotten tooth or an impacted tooth or an infected tooth, you might as well, you could die from it. You can't eat, I mean, like, it's so debilitating. Right? And so we have a tooth that was sick, impacted, infected, and it's Malta. It's the mall tooth, right? And you can see,
okay.
and it's shooting out from right where.
Is that the Malta Rock?
No, the Malta, the island.
Okay, yeah, that's like a bit. Isn't there a huge big rock?
And Cyprus right there too. Like it's the one that looks like basically it looks like it's shooting out of the corner of Turkey right there. Turkey, we're in Levant, and
okay.
And then, but
tell
the
me
thing
more.
is, Sinai below the triangle of Sinai is the dental dam, right? And that holds the Red Sea. It used to hold the Red Sea back because the Red Sea was always painted red on old maps, and it wasn't mixing with the Mediterranean for whatever reason. And then something happened, some cataclysmic event happened, and the dental dam broke, and then the Red Sea through the Suez Canal, Suez Canal started leaking into the Mediterranean, which is basically like a blood barrier breaking, and it's poisonous. And if you look at
that's a good point. Holy shit.
Yeah, if you look at the Red Sea, it's a serpent. And that Sinai is the same Sinai with the burning bush, same Sinai, Isaac and Abraham and Isaac. It's a mountain, and it's also an anvil. I mean, look, it's a triangle. It's it's
a Tor. Yep.
Yeah, and it also has the hole in it. I think it's like a blacksmith anvil. It's also a doorway there in the center. There's a hole in it. Hole in it meaning
that would be like Vulcan on that hammering.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at. I didn't want to get right to it, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, man. Creating the light, because that hit on the quartz produces light when you drill quartz or when you bang on quartz, and I think that's nuts, man. And how is it? Okay, so it's the blood barrier is broke. It's leaking in to a different system, right?
Right. And then when you look at teeth, like human teeth, we have 30. I think it's 30.
33.
33. Right. Think about that. 33. Right. And no, 32. We have 32. And then
32. Okay.
And they take our 4 wisdom teeth out, and we have 28. They take us from solar to the moon, and we get.
Wow.
Yes, and then the dental is like, I mean, it's
and those are your terminals. Those wisdom teeth are where the row ends, and that's the terminal spike.
That's nuts. That's what happened in the Mediterranean or something. I mean, like metaphorically, and in some way, it's like there was a procedure where something was extracted or moved, or we were trying to heal, and it wasn't allowed to happen.
Greece looks like it's blown up. You ever consider
that? Oh yeah, that's exactly. There you go. And so look at what's shooting out of the north east corner. It's I don't know what island it is. I don't know why I want to say Malta. It's because I hate them so much. But it's what is it? It looks like a shark almost. It looks like it has motion to it, and it's moving from the
connection.